20% of the world's energy traffic comes through right here. If this stays blocked, prices stay high.
Natural gas is an essential ingredient in nitrogen fertilizer, and that means fertilizer prices are rising too.
Much of the world's fertilizer also travels through the Strait of Hormuz. Ryan Lynch is checking in with farmers and fertilizer producers in Wisconsin as the spring planting season starts.
The Strait of Hormuz, which is now effectively closed amid the war with Iran. That has fertilizer prices soaring.
Because fertilizer prices are going up, we need to learn how to make our own. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Brewing right beside me is our banana peel fertilizer. And you may be asking, what's the purpose of banana peel fertilizer? Well, banana peel is an excellent source of potassium. The garden needs potassium. That's one of the 3 primary nutrients that your plant needs. And making a banana peel fertilizer is very simple. You can either dehydrate and powder your banana peel leaves, or simply after eating your banana, you'll cut the leaves and you are going to make sure they're fully submerged in your jar under water. Added to that, you can either use blackstrap molasses or very dark sugar, not white sugar, just very dark sugar, and of course, yeast. The yeast and the sugar are going to help the banana peel to extract all the nutrients into the water. And when you use that to water your plants, not only are you getting the potassium from the banana peel, you are also getting probiotics and very beneficial microbial activity around the roots of your plants with all the ingredients added together. How we're going to use our banana peel fertilizer is we're going to add 1 part of this solution to 5 parts water, because you don't want to overwhelm your plants with potassium. And you can see the fermentation process is taking place. When you do this, adding yeast and sugar to your banana peel jar in the water, you don't need to let it sit for more than 3 to 5 days. All right, once you see the fermentation process starts, you want to go ahead and use that. You can add more water, yeast and sugar, or you can just put this in your compost pile and get a new batch going. So I have my water already in my sprayer. And because my banana peels are not crushed, I'm just going to pour the water into this jar, and it can be a direct foliar feed for my plants. Okay, and that's it. I am going to water my plants with this, and it's going to provide, again, a great source of potassium. It will provide a little bit of phosphorus. Why? Because the banana peel and the microbial activity that are going to be introduced using the molasses, that's going to help the plants to absorb potassium better from the soil. All right, so you just go and you can either put this directly around the base of your plant and provide a foliar feed. What type of plants will this be beneficial to? Of course, all plants need potassium, but mostly your fruiting plants like your tomatoes, your peppers, squash, watermelon. During the flowering, fruiting stage, they really need to benefit from that fixing of potassium. As we know, our plants need 3 primary sources of nutrients and then other micronutrients. What the plants need primarily: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. We talked about potassium, which is the building block of your plant cells. But let's get into nitrogen, which is responsible for greening, for strength, and for your plant's overall health and development. What we get our nitrogen from, of course, a lot of greens. Whether your kitchen scraps, your yard waste, all of those things, once they break down, will provide a good source of nitrogen. When you're composting your kitchen scraps, you want to make sure everything is nice and small. The bigger your chunks, the longer they're going to take to break down. So you want to go ahead and cut things, making sure, of course, they are small, they're easily accessible to microbes, whether it be earthworms, beneficial bacteria, funguses, and so on. They'll break down faster, especially your compost pile. Turning it is great, but when the surface area is a lot smaller, decomposition takes place much faster. In addition to that, helping our nitrogen decompose, a little bit of potassium, and here we're going to get this from our seaweed fertilizer. To assist the composting process, you can use a compost accelerator. This is basically a specialized bacteria that is used to assist your compost to break down faster. You don't have to wait 6 months to a year. You can get compost in a matter of weeks. You may not have a big backyard. You may not have a compost pile or a compost tumbler. You may want to compost in your kitchen. But if you don't want that harmful, horrible smell of food breaking down, Convino is what you will need. This is basically a compost deodorizer. It has essential oil. It also helps accelerate your compost, and what it's going to do is going to mask the smell of the decomposition so you don't attract pests and unwanted insects to your compost pile. Finally, we will be adding Epsom salt, a commonly used ingredient. If your muscles are sore, you just need that nice soak. Epsom salt is great. Why? Because it has magnesium. Magnesium is another essential element for plant growth. So we're going to put a little bit of Epsom salt into our compost pile. We show you how you can have compost tea readily available right in your garden 7 days a week, even though you'll only be using it 6. All right, here, ta-da-da-da, we have our compost tea brewer. Basically, I have a strainer bag and I need to upgrade. Yes, Cherise, this is too small. You can put a 5-gallon paint strainer bag in here. What I have in this bag, I will put in my kitchen scraps, yard waste, cut it really small, and I will add Convino, the compost accelerator. Also, I will add blackstrap molasses because you need that sugar, and kelp meal. Okay, so once you have your kitchen scraps, you just put it in the bag. The microbes are going to break this down, and the nitrogen specifically will be extracted into your water. When adding your Epsom salt, again, a great source of magnesium, you don't want to add a whole lot, about a tablespoon, and that's sufficient. You just put it in your water, it's going to get diluted. For the clean kelp, because the seaweed fertilizer will settle, make sure you give this a good shake. And then I'm just going to add a cupful of that clean kelp to my liquid. With the Convino, it comes in a pack of 4, and a little bit goes a long way when deodorizing your compost pile. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit inside the water. And it does smell really good. This compost accelerator is going to assist in maintaining the pH of your compost pile. Most times your compost is neutral, all right, and this is going to assist in maintaining that neutral pH. So 1 cupful into our water. For your blackstrap molasses, you're going to add in 1 tablespoon as well. Just a little bit, okay. To prevent anaerobic bacteria from growing, you always want to make sure that this is being moved around. We're not using a bubbler, so every day I'll just come out here, turn my bag to make sure it's having good bacteria. And the reason it's in this paint strainer bag is I don't want the faucet to get clogged when the compost is going through. All right, so that's it. This is how we make our compost tea. You can blend your kitchen scraps, you can cut them up, put them in there. They will break down and apply that good source of nitrogen directly into the water, which your plants will love. Whatever you need your compost tea to water your garden, you'll simply turn your spigot and you're going to have that nice compost coming out. You can dilute it. However, I'm not going to because I add water to my bucket every time I add my kitchen scraps. And again, similar to the banana peel, you can use a foliar feed, this for a foliar feed, or you can apply it directly around the roots of your plants. This is going to provide nitrogen. It's going to provide a lot of essential minerals, a lot of nutrients that your plant needs to survive. When you think of a nitrogen fertilizer, you would want to reapply this at least every 2 weeks on your leafy greens, your fruiting plants, even your fruit tree. Consistently every 2 weeks. If you have heavy feeders like tomatoes and cabbage, you want to do so at least once a week. Leafy green patch with our broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and collard greens, all right, is covered so that we don't get unwanted chewing insects that will mess up our nice leafy greens. Greens, they do benefit from heavy nitrogen feeding, and we will feed them every week. We'll just spray it on the leaves, make sure it's running down so that it's getting into the soil. We're going to spray on top of the leaves, under the leaves, and you want to make sure your plants are healthy. So even if they are affected by pests, the plants will always bounce back. All right, great source of nitrogen that your plants are going to love. Nitrogen deficiency starts at the lower leaves. If you see your older leaves starting to get yellow, that means that your plant is deficient in nitrogen. It's an immobile nutrient, so it's going to stay one place until the plant needs it, and therefore the deficiency always shows in the older leaves first. While the banana peel will give you some phosphorus, your compost tea will also provide a good source of phosphorus. However, if you feel your rooting veggies are not getting enough, rock phosphate is a great natural source of phosphorus that you can use. All right, use this on your rooting plants, your potatoes, carrots, beets, turnips, radishes, and your young plants that are just starting to send out roots. Okay, make sure everything is nice, covered, dripping into the soil, because truly the roots are where your nitrogen is taken into the plant. We're seeing currently that fertilizer prices are increasing based on the war in Iran, what's going on with Russia, the Strait of Hormuz being closed. We don't have to be dependent on big box store for our fertilizer. We can make it in our kitchen and take it straight to our backyard. Simple ingredients that you can find easily accessible in your house. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like. And if you have not, please subscribe, share the video with a friend, and let us know in the comments section below, what fertilizers do you make at home that you have found beneficial to your plants? I'll see you in the comments section below. Until next time, happy planting. Bye.